How are y'all doing today? We're the APAers, a group selected to consult Austin Pets Alive, a nonprofit organization directed at sheltering, fostering, and adopting pets throughout Travis County. Today we have Martin Martinez, who's going to be introducing the organization, talking about the purpose, background, and significance, followed by Joe Potu, who's going to be talking about primary research. Then I'm going to be following up with secondary research. Then CL Ritter-Fitch is going to be talking about findings and conclusions. And Christian Benitez is going to be concluding with recommendations. Now I'm going to pass it off to Martin, who's going to be talking about the introduction of the organization.
Thank you, Devin. As Devin said, my name is Martin, and I'm going to be talking to you about the background of Austin Pets Alive, along with the purpose of our report. I'm also going to talk to you about our significance. I'm also going to be talking to you about our findings, our methods, along with the scope. So Austin Pets Alive was founded in the year 2008 with the goal of providing no-kill within the Austin area, along within their shelter. Another goal that they have is to provide shelter for these animals in need, along with the other animals that are homeless. And they want to provide permanent housing for them through means of adoption or through their fostering program. But how many of y'all know about their fostering program? That's something that some of us did not know, and through our research discovered that other people did not know. So the purpose of our report is to determine if there needs to be an increase in their social media advertisement and in regards to their fostering program. This is significant because within the first year of operations, approximately 457 cats and dogs were sheltered in their organization, and in last year, 2014, 7,069 cats and dogs. So there has been an increase in these animals, and if there were to be an increase in the awareness of the fostering program, this could reduce the numbers, and possibly other animals that need help will be able to enter the organization. So for our research, we created a survey which was distributed in St. Edward's University, which faculty, students, and staff took. Approximately 246 surveys were distributed, in which all of them were sent back for research. That will be covered later on to our primary research, and we also conducted secondary research in order to determine if there for ways to increase social media presence for our fostering program. So now I'm going to pass it on to Joe to talk to you about the primary research.
As my colleague said, my name is Joe. I'll be talking to you about the primary research, which consists of our data collection and our analysis of the data that we gathered. So first off, I'll start with our population. We chose the students of St. Edward's University. First, because it was convenient. It's in the same city as Austin Pets Alive. The age range was from young adult to mid-20s, which is kind of the main demographic that Austin Pets Alive is going for. We originally planned to distribute 300 surveys for a 95% confidence rate, but we only ended up getting 246, and we maintained a 94% confidence level. So when we were for the data collection, we decided to use surveys as our method. The first thing we did was we decided to address a problem for the survey, which was there was not enough promotion being done for the fostering program via social media. And from there, we began designing it. We talked to our client and brainstormed questions that we might want to ask on the survey. We ultimately selected 10 that we found to be relevant to the problem. And we wanted to note that we did have a demographic question, but it was thrown out. It was are you St. Edward's student, staff, faculty, or other? But pretty much everyone answered student, so we just threw that one out. And after that, we had peer reviews, and we had our instructor look over it and then sent it back to our client for one last look over. And after that was all given the go-ahead, we distributed them in various classes, and that was how we conducted our surveys. When we were analyzing the data, we came across some invalid questions. These were accounted for but not analyzed. These were questions that were either left unanswered or people indicated more than one answer. And 6 of the 10 questions that we selected proved to have significant results. We decided that a significant result was any answer that over 50% of the population had chosen. And the result of this analysis, we figured out that people prefer direct comments on social media, and they also like pictures. We successfully addressed the purpose of our survey through the analysis, which was to understand how APA's target audience prefers if they use social media. And now I'm going to pass it on to Devin for the secondary research.
As just said, I'm Devin. For secondary research, in recent times, social media has been seen as a dominant way to market companies for both profit and nonprofit organizations. There are key methods used to be able to address your company's goals more so towards the public. One being publish relevant content. By publishing relevant content, you're not only being able to post on a timely and consistent basis, but by doing so, you're able to show your significant goals for your organization. By not only posting about your organization, but for other organizations, reposting and resharing, you not only show that you believe in other organizations' purpose, but you're being able to gain credibility in a sense. One of the other key methods is has been visually appealing content, in a sense that text can be boring and kind of disinteresting, in a sense that pictures and videos are more engaging. By having videos and pictures that are fun, educational, and emotional, you're able to attract a larger crowd within bringing them into your organization. Another key method that we have is the voice of personality, in a sense that text isn't necessarily bad. Text, you're able to have a voice of personality to be able to show that you're personal and humane, in a sense that a lot of organizations, a lot of companies make big mistakes by publishing a lot of content that can be seen as too corporate. That can be also kind of an unattractive way to be able to approach your users. Also, hashtags. Hashtags are used in social media websites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. By posting hashtags, not only are you being able to track what's trending, but you're able to post quick statements that show exactly what your company is about or what they've recently been able to achieve. Now, the thing is with hashtags, by posting too many hashtags, one, that can be disinteresting, and two, it can be seen as an annoyance, and they can pretty much address and associate your company as an annoyance. So you have to watch out for how often you post hashtags and how relevant those hashtags are. Now, also clear benefits. Stating your goals, your purpose of your organization is very key, in the sense that if you just post and post and post, users will have no idea exactly what you're trying to reach your goals, in the sense that everything you post from there on, they're going to breeze through it, not really pay attention to it. Even though they might like and follow your Instagram, what you're posting won't be able to attract a lot of users. And then finally, with interaction, having interaction with essentially responding and sharing posts not only will allow you to gain users on a more personal basis, but by sharing and reposting other businesses' content, you're gaining potential business relationships that could help you in the future. And with these key methods that we have today for the secondary approach presented to you, we're going to pass it on to CL, who's going to talk about our findings and conclusions.
Alright, so thank you, Devin. Hi, I'm CL, and I'm going to be talking about our findings and conclusions based on our primary and secondary research. So what we found out based on our surveys was that most people know about Austin Pets Alive because of word of mouth. That was 42.39% of people who responded to our surveys. And 75% of people who responded to our surveys knew that Austin Pets Alive had a fostering program. With 64% of people being somewhat to extremely likely to foster a pet within the next 5 years, which I know we all found really surprising, but that's what everyone said. So, what people said they most wanted to see was the success stories and animals available for adoption on companies' Facebook or Instagram pages. But most of Austin Pets Alive's things that posts on Facebook are actually about promotional events, which was rated as the least important thing people wanted to see. 47.57, so nearly half of people rated this as number 4, the least important thing that they wanted to see. And so just some general information based on what we saw with their social media accounts. According to socialbakers.com, The range that you want to be posting out on Facebook is 5 to 10 posts per week, and Austin Pets Alive is in that range, around 7 posts per week. But the past few weeks, they've been less than 4 posts per week, and before that, they were almost at 10 posts per week. So they're very inconsistent. They'll go a few weeks posting. They can post 3 times a day, and then for the next 2 days not post anything. So even if their average is in the clear, they're not consistent. So their average isn't necessarily the best measure in this case. I also very rarely, if ever, comment on any. When they have people who comment on one of their posts, they never respond back or say anything back to them. But 58.13% of people who answered the surveys said that they wanted companies to respond back if they commented on their pages. And what we saw with what had the most success on their Facebook and Instagram directly matched what we got as answers from our surveys, which is that people most liked success stories and, shockingly enough, pictures of cute animals. I know, who would have thought, right? But yes, those do get the most likes and comments. And shares on Instagram. Instagram is mostly just pictures of animals, and their Facebook page is mostly information about promotions, so there's not very much overlap. They're kind of very separate in the way that they're run. They're posted at different times, and they don't link between each other. There's no link to their Facebook on their Instagram, and vice versa. And as for just some general information we found out based on research for companies should do, companies need to focus on relevancy, both to what content, what they're trying to put as their image. They need to be relevant to that and relevant to what their target market is into at the moment. And they need to be consistent with their brand image and also how often they're posting. And they also need to make sure that what they're doing is visually appealing, which Austin Pets Alive does do a good job of. Their logo is very bright and has like a very awesome kind of font. Like if you were familiar with Austin, you could look at their logo and you know that company is in Austin. So that's it for that. I'm going to pass it off to Christian, who's going to be talking about our recommendations.
As my colleague said, my name is Christian. I'll be talking about the recommendations that we found based off the research that we did. The first recommendation we have is to increase the awareness of the Instagram page by providing a link on the Facebook page that will take users to the Instagram page. With this, Austin Pets Alive will be able to provide more success stories on their Facebook page instead of promotions, and provide more pictures of the available adoptable pets on their Instagram page. Second recommendation we had was to increase the amount of images placed on their Instagram page. We found that in the past month they only placed 8 images of animals, and we said that at least 5 images per week would be good. And this will allow users to see that there's an abundant amount of pets available in Austin Pets Alive to be adoptable or fostered. A third recommendation we have is to place more videos of pets interacting with people and performing tricks. This will just capture people's attention and see that the dogs are actually getting well trained, and you won't get just a regular bad animal. Fourth recommendation is to improve on the use of hashtags on Facebook and Instagram by providing more catchy and relevant tags. Hashtags like about the breed of the dog, its name, or hashtags that just say adopt a pet or foster a pet would be good to spread the word of Austin Pets Alive. Our final recommendation is to respond more often to comments that are left by users. This will help build a relationship between the users and the company, and will facilitate will increase the amount of animals that could potentially find a forever home. Those were the recommendations we had, and I'll pass it on to Devin to do the conclusion.
In conclusion, you've had Martin, who's talked about the introduction, the purpose, significance, and background of the organization, followed by Joe, who's talked about the primary research. I followed up with secondary research, and we had CL, talked about findings, and Christian, who concluded with recommendations. We feel that Austin Pets Alive is currently active with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but for instance, this past month on their Instagram profile, they only had 8 posts where typically in the shelter they're going to have thousands of animals that are looking for being able to foster and adopt. And so we feel that by posting more throughout the week, especially on weekends when individuals will have more time to engage in their social media profiles, that not only will you be able to engage more users, but you'll be able to show more awareness throughout Austin Pets Alive's purpose and goals. With this said, we are the APAers, and thank you very much for your time.